Well, how do you fare, my loyal 9 patrons? Are we live? We got a 5x5 there. We doing good? Well, anyways, how you guys doing? I know my stream schedule. I see some of you guys are asking if I have a stream schedule. I don't right now because I'm just too busy right now with work and with life right now. I think you guys know some of you guys know what's going on with me right now. So it's just streaming time is, dude, this is a rare one right now. This is a rare one. I just got done with dinner and I was like, you know what? Let's go live. Let's get it over with. Let's do it. Let's have a good time. So anyways, right now the brew of the stream is Eagle Brewing Banana Bread Beer. You know how I like to roll. It's one of those things that will always be part of me. So anyways, there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world. And a lot of stuff happening right now within the United States that everyone has their own opinion on it, and everyone has like a lot of differing opinions. I'll just put it this way. So a common thing that I'm hearing right now pertaining to China, for example, is, oh, bro, China's economy is going to collapse, bro. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And everyone keeps saying that. And something that I think I need to stress to a lot of people out there that maybe have a different opinion than me, or maybe they kind of agree with me, but they don't really know why. You know, they've been hearing these things. Look, China has the ability to manipulate their currency beyond any other country on this planet or in this solar system at this point. They have that ability to just simply inflate their currency, deflate their currency at a whim, essentially. And the other thing that we have to understand is China, because they're a communist country, their commodity is people. That is a thing that seems to constantly go over people's head whenever they say, oh, their economy's going to collapse any day, bro. Any day it's going to collapse. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it because the other thing that we have to understand is China has made the world dependent upon them. The entire world has painted themselves or pushed themselves into this corner now to where if China falls, the world will essentially fall. And there's really only a few countries where that is where it's like that. The United States, because of defense and defense manufacturing, we supply armaments to pretty much everyone in the world. We have the best R&D departments, L3 Communications, Lockheed Martin, Boeing. All these defense contractors are the best. They are the best in the world, and nobody can compete with that. Even like the Germans have a really good tank called the Leopard, I think. It's a newer tank, but it doesn't compete with a modern-day M1 Abrams or M2 Abrams, whatever model it's at this point. Speed, ability to fire, shoot, and move on uneven terrain and still maintain a level with the turret, like nothing can compare. China, on the other hand, they can't fall either because everyone gets all their manufacturing from them for all their cheap shit, their phones, their batteries, Mr. Climate Change and Mrs. Climate Change people. So for all the climate activists out there that are, we're against slavery, we're against fossil fuels, we're against these things. What they don't understand is they're actively supporting the thing that they very hate. And this is why leftists are really stupid, because they are unable to see beyond what is being told to them or what is being shown to them. They can't see or hear beyond these things. They're the most easily duped people. They're the most corrupted type of people. You can literally tell a leftist, hey, we need you to commit suicide because it's better for the planet. And I guarantee you a good chunk of them would happily do it. And that's really sad because that just shows critical thinking has really gone out the window in this country, which I think we all know this at this point. It is completely gone, which is fucking sad. It's really sad. And I think a lot of that has to do with social media, the constant distractions by, the magic box that they have in their pocket and hanging on their wall, in their lap. They constantly have distractions. And the thing that really is going to enhance your life is getting rid of a lot of those things or limiting the usage to as much as you can. I get it where, you're going to have to get information from those things. You're going to have to do your business through those things. But what's really critical is understanding where the line is where the line is drawn, and a lot of people don't seem to have that figured out yet, which is really fucking sad. I mean, it's really fucking sad. I mean, I know guys, they'll be talking to me, and I got some lefty friends. I think you guys know this, but I got some lefty friends I remember I was going on a run with one of them in the park the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, man, like I have a really bad addiction to TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook." And I was like, what do you mean a bad addiction? And he's like, "I literally wake up in the middle of the night because I want more screen time." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" That's fucking weird, dude. What are you talking about? And he's not alone. There's so many people like that. That because these serpents that control these levers of communication, that control these social media platforms, hire people specifically to keep you addicted, to keep you wanting more and more and more and more, when they know it's ungodly unhealthy for people. But they don't care. But yet these same motherfuckers are the same people out there preaching communism. The same people that are all about, oh, well, we want to take care of the planet. We're peace and free love, and all these fucking people out there. These are the same people that are using capitalism and the blessings of ethical capitalism to then enslave people and ruin lives. These are not good people. These are not good people. When something is free, that means you are the product. Now, I'm not saying you have to stop using that shit altogether, but you have to understand the weapon that's behind that stuff. It's because it's all a weapon. It's all a weapon. And the crazy part why none of this shit is ever going to get fixed for at least a long time, at least 5 to 10 years, because the people, these fucking people running our country don't even understand how the internet works. I think you guys have probably already seen multiple videos on congressmen and senators and all that shit trying to explain tech to like Mark Zuckerberg or someone else that's in some sort of control position where they can't even explain it. They don't even understand what the internet is. That's why they gave away the power of the internet, the 7 keys and all that. But anyway, so, we have these countries. United States, you cannot get rid of the United States because of our weapons and defense manufacturing. You can't get rid of China because of their cheap-ass slave labor that they have right now and probably organ harvesting. Let's just be honest. We all know what what is happening to the Uyghur population and why they're doing it. They're selling organs. This is like modern day The Island. Is this life imitating art or art imitating life? Who knows? It probably goes back so much further than we realize. But then you also can't get rid of Saudi Arabia. Like one of the number one state sponsors of terrorism is Saudi Arabia. Osama bin Laden, he was a Saudi. You look at all the 9/11 hijackers, which I think we all know the truth behind 9/11. Even still, so many of them were Saudis. I mean, you look at a lot of these hot pockets in the Middle East where you had, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, the Syrian issue, the Arab Spring, all the conflicts you can think of in the Middle East. So many of the sponsors of it financially and then the ground fighters were from Saudi Arabia. So you can't get rid of those 3 countries. The world depends on them. Good fucking luck. Good luck. I hate China just as much as the next freaking American, but I don't want to get rid of them. No, don't want to get rid of them. Maybe a nuke here and there, but, I don't want to get rid of them. So anyways, I just saw this thing here on the New American. I'm a big fan of the New American website. These guys do amazing research, and some of the documentaries that I work on, I will often use the New American as a form of research because the in-depth level of work they put into it. So this one reads, China boosts defense budget despite modest economic growth prospects. So China does not have a massive defense budget, unlike, other countries like the United States, some other Western countries out there. But obviously, the United States has the biggest defense budget. China right now is signaling to the world that they are preparing for a kinetic war. So they have the dealings going on with Russia. They're constantly pushing the limit, pushing the envelope with their fighter jets, with our naval aircraft, our Air Force aircraft. They're signaling to the world that they are ready for war. And you look at the stuff that was happening in the island building in the South China Sea. This is another thing that a lot of people haven't realized. Taiwan. I don't believe the Taiwanese military is very loyal to Taiwan. And don't ask me how I know, but there's a lot of people that I know that feel the same way. And I think China has done a very good job at infiltrating other militaries around the world, but specifically the Taiwanese military, because obviously they're right in their backyard. They share the same looks, so it's much easier. It's not like a white dude going into the the Taiwanese military. Not as easy to infiltrate. So, anyways, we have that going on. Let's see if there's anything worthwhile to read in here. Maybe we can get the actual number. It says China's defense budget is poised to witness a 7.2% increase this year. That's quite a bit, guys. 7.2%, that's a lot. Surpassing both last year's and the country's total projected economic growth. The revelation was made on March 5th at the opening of the National People's Congress in Beijing, according to the reports by Reuters. Also, Xi Jinping just got reelected for a third term, by the way, probably at the same time. In figures, China's defense spending would be equivalent to 1.55 trillion yuan, more than 210 billion. Only the United States, whose Pentagon has a 750 billion in its budget, exceeds China's defense spending considerably. Okay, the problem with that statement there. The Pentagon spends 750 billion in its budget. And China now is 210 billion. The United States government overpays for fucking everything. They could buy a stapler, and it's going to cost the equivalent of 1,000 staplers on the civilian market. That's something that we have to consider with military budgets. Military budgets in the United States, they fucking overpay for everything. Look at the F-35. Look how much that costs. Look at the F-22 Raptor. Look how much it costs to make night vision goggles. Look how much it costs for them to field a new weapon. Everything they purchase is overpaid. It's all overpaid. You look at the new vehicle the military has. I think it's called the JLTV. That thing, ungodly expensive. And I have friends in the military. None of them like it. They say it's a piece of shit. Doesn't work. It dies in the middle of their training or whatever they're doing. It overheats. Too much technology. I know these guys in the military, and so many of them say, dude, just give me a Humvee. Just give me a Toyota Tacoma. Give me a Ford F-150. We can make shit work better. There is so much fraud, waste, and abuse in the U.S. government, especially the military, that $750 billion, unless China has the same thing, which I'm sure they have a similar thing. Sure. I'm sure they have something similar. But I highly doubt it's at the same level as the Pentagon budget of $750 billion. So I don't like to compare the two too much by dollar amount. I want to see what they're fucking buying. And I'll tell you right now, you look at the Chinese fighter jets, looks pretty fucking similar to an F-22 Raptor. Looks very similar. Let me see if I can actually pull a picture of that shit up. Let's see, F-22 Raptor, Chinese fighter jet comparison. This thing, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I first saw it on a flyby, actually, when they were comparing the jets. Or not when they were comparing the jets. Whenever one of the F-22, the Chinese F-22s did a, what's it called? A flyby on some naval equipment. It was like fucking crazy similar. Let's see, F-22. Here we go. It's called the J-20. Hold on. F-22 versus J-20. Yeah. This will probably give us a better picture here. Hold on. Let me see here. F-22. There's a lot of like renditions that I'm trying to scroll through here. I want to give you guys the best picture. You know what? Fuck it. Let me just put the tab over here. So you can see it right here. You can see how similar this thing is. I mean, you look here. I know the J-20, the issues with the J-20 is maneuverability. It's not as maneuverable as the F-22 Raptor, but this just goes to show the intellectual property theft that's been happening. I mean, the Chinese have been stealing so much fucking intellectual property from the United States because we're the best. I mean, we're clearly the best. Let's see here. A clear illustration why the J-20 is better than the F-22. Okay, so it's small V, small canard, was that OS1, medium wing? I don't know. I'm not a pilot. I am not a pilot by any stretch of the imagination. But it's a very similar aircraft. And there's been a lot of concern lately with the Chinese doing stuff like shooting down our drones. So there's been some of our drones that have been shot down by the Chinese military, or somehow they've magically crashed into the ocean, and the Chinese actually went and recovered these drones. Or there's been like trade shows happening, and the Chinese have went and stolen the intellectual property from these trade shows. There's actually video, I'm sure you could find it online, where there's a Chinese dude going to a trade show where there's this like paint that you can put on tactical vehicles, tanks, maybe aircraft, I don't know, but you paint it on and it helps give it like almost like an invisible look because it's supposed to be like a chameleon style paint. And they had like a bowl of it sitting out, and then what this Chinese dude did is he walked up to the bowl and dipped his tie in it to get the material, to try to figure out how they're doing it. I mean, they are all over the place. And the problem with the United States is because we are such a high trust society, and everyone is so fucking afraid to be a racist. Oh my God, it's a Chinese guy. Oh, well, he's not going to steal anything. Everyone is so afraid of being called a racist that what they do is they're not going to say anything to someone like this. They're going to allow theft to happen right in front of their eyes because of the fear, the how it's been just inculcated into our society of if you say anything, if you're a white male, especially if you're a white male, you are fucked in this society. You can't say anything to anyone. So, we're seeing this kind of stuff right here. I mean, it's actually quite unbelievable. Big D says he's responding, looks like a Euro fighter F-22 hybrid, right? And then Big D says, yes, it's an F-22 with a European-style front canards. I don't know what a canard is, but I'm assuming that's those little wings on the front. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I know what Eurojet you're talking about. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, they have stolen so much fucking property from the United States. I mean, like, even their drones, man. Their drones look so similar to the Predator and to the Reaper and all that shit. Let's see. Jareth Hogan says, just look at all the Chinese that show up to air shows and take a million pictures. Yeah, dude. I've actually seen that, dude. There's what is that freaking, there's a thing in England where it's like the biggest fighter jet thing where they're like flying in between mountains and doing all these crazy maneuvers in between mountains. And I've seen videos of like a lot of fucking Asians out there. Hey, what's up, Neo Martyrdom? Let's see here. So anyways, thought I would share that with you guys. I think that this is just a show. If you're late to the show, which I don't blame you because I don't have a set time, but if you're just now tuning in, the point I'm bringing this up is there's a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, China's economy is going to collapse. They're going to collapse, guys. We're just waiting. The Chinese economy is going to collapse." No, they're fucking not. No, they're not. Not anytime soon, at least. They're not going to collapse. They're commodities fucking people, dude. And they have billions of people. There are Chinese in South America doing projects. There is Chinese in Africa doing projects. There's Chinese in Europe doing projects. They are everywhere doing work, and their people are being used as slaves. Just tossing that out there. They're being used as slaves. And that's why the left will never go against the Chinese, because they love fucking slavery. They're all about that shit. It's crazy. Jareth Hogan, they all have a few $1,000 cameras. Yeah. They got like some crazy ass shit. So anyways, one of the themes of the show tonight is going to be the bank closing, the SVD Bank or whatever, Silicon Valley, or SVB, Silicon Valley Bank. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal that this is happening. I don't think it's necessarily being covered like it should be. Then again, I also don't really watch other streams, so maybe it is, and I'm just not really seeing anything. But I'm not seeing a lot of shit happen. Not a lot of people covering it, especially like Breitbart. They have it, but it's not a large project people are talking about. Now, this article is reading Hollywood payroll firm hit by Silicon Valley Bank collapse causing delays in payments. This could be a good thing. I hate to say it, but this could be a good thing that's happening. I know a lot of people are concerned about their money. I know there's been some reports of people going to banks and ATMs, and they're trying to pull out all their money. You know, even people with not even a lot of money in the bank, like $10,000, which that's a lot, but for a bank, you know, concerned with a bank, $10,000 is not like a ton of money for them. There's been people, you know, they're just trying to pull out $2,000 from the bank, and their bank's like, no, you can pull $1,000 a week, you know. And I'm sure this isn't all banks, obviously, but there has been some reports of people going out there trying to, you know, liquidate their accounts essentially, and they're not being allowed to. And the reason why this is happening is, you know, you look at 2008, you look at every single financial crisis, the one in the 80s, all these financial crises that have happened. Banks don't want to allow that money to leave, because if there's a run on the banks, then chaos ensues. And so that's probably another reason why it's not necessarily being talked about that much, which is kind of surprising for news outlets, because they love to cause chaos. They love that shit. But I'm going to read you something here that a friend of mine sent me. It's like an Instagram post or something. I don't know. Let me just read this to you. It's on my other computer, so I can't show you the actual thing. But it says, Silicon Valley Bank had $211 billion in net assets and is the largest bank in Silicon Valley. Only 8% of their account holders were FDIC insured, meaning 92% of their clients had over $250,000 in their account. This was a bank for the Silicon elites, and it will be the first of many to close its doors. A chain reaction of these banks defaulting and not having the equity to cover investment equals panic. Babylon shall fall. Now, that's kind of a dark post to read, but the propensity of that actually occurring is very high, because the lessons learned from the 2008 GFC have not been learned. Pretty much what's happened is they've just put a Band-Aid for 2008 GFC, like the Great Financial Crash. It was never solved. They didn't do anything to solve it. So things have a probability of skyrocketing out of control, especially, dude, once when fucking Monday hits, this is going to be a little wild, because what a lot of people don't get is once when it's about 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, the stocks are going to be down. People are going to be checking their bank accounts. We already had some issues with Wells Fargo. There might be a run on the banks. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I'm not old enough to have lived through one of these. But the data shows, especially Weimar Germany, just tossing that one out there, the data does show that there could be a potential for a run on the banks, and chaos could ensue. And that's a scary fucking thought, because there's a lot of people right now going through a lot of hard times. A lot of hard times. And, you know, something that fucking just gets me going is we're sending all this fucking money to Ukraine. All this money. I was volunteering not too long ago. And it's for a friend of mine. He's a school teacher. And he runs like a running program for the school. And it's nothing like robust. And it can't be robust because that running program he's running is in a very low income rural area. And, I'm seeing some of these kids out there, nice kids too, by the way. They don't have anything. They got nothing. And I'm seeing some of these kids with the cheapest and most worn out shoes that I have ever seen. I've been to some third world nations, and some of those kids in those third world nations had better shoes than what these kids had. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm not in favor of handouts from the government. Obviously, I'm not a communist. But if we're going to be handing out fucking billions of dollars, but we got kids here in the United States that don't even have shoes so they could do a sports activity. That just shows you something is wrong. That just shows you how fucked up this country is being ran. This is a failed country. This is a failed government. It's a failure. It's become too corrupt at this point to sustain. You got kids out there, like, one of these kids was using like some old dirty, like, not dirty, but just like one of those like little 500 milliliter like bottled waters. He was using that, and he just kept reusing it, which, good for him. But he's like, yeah, well, I'm just reusing it because I don't have like a nice water bottle. I was like, what? So, I gave him a nice water bottle, and I went and I drove home as fast as I could and got every pair of running shoes that I had, essentially, that I don't need. And was like, told the dude that I was helping out, I was like, hey, man, here's what I got. Here's the size. Give them out to whoever you think you need them. If another kid needs running shoes, you let me know. I will buy him a pair of running shoes. That's just... But fucking Hunter Biden in Ukraine. The Bidens got to get all their money to Ukraine. And these fucking leftists out there are so stupid. Well, every dollar sent to Ukraine is a dead Ivan. Shut the fuck up. What does the USSR stand for? I bet you fuckers don't even know. Bet you don't even know. But yet you're going to sit here and lecture me on who the Russian people are when you don't even know their goddamn history. You don't even know who these people are. Putin bad, yeah. But they don't know shit. They don't know shit because the only thing they know is what Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and CNN and all these other leftist commie outposts, they only know what they're being told from them. Because they're too stupid to read. They don't have the attention span to open a fucking book and spend 5 minutes reading. They don't have the attention span for it. They have been dwindled down in society to the point where they cannot open a book and read it. Because if it's not in some picture with a couple words on it, or it's not some Instagram post or some Twitter post with characters limited, they're fucked. They can't do it. They're incapable. But every dollar sent to Ukraine is a dead Ivan. Well, if we're running that logic, then every fucking buddy in the world should be dead at that point. Times freaking 20 with how much money we've spent. Every Russian should be clearly dead at this point. Everybody who has an ounce of Russian DNA should be dead at this point. That's how stupid they are. And I guarantee you that, like, most lefties are more in debt than conservatives are. Oh, gee, I wonder why. They're fucking dumb. They're dumb. Jareth Hogan says, people already have started runs on the bank and other banks have dropped in shareholders. Not surprised, dude. Not surprised. And the thing I was telling a buddy of mine today, he's been like following this shit like crazy. He's been like sending me articles left and right about this stuff. The thing that I was telling him, I was like, look, dude, maybe this needs to happen. You know, the downside with this is how they're going to implement like digital currencies and stuff. This is how it's going to happen. And one of the groups of people, or not groups of people, one of the corporations that have been in charge of writing digital currency rules and regulations is Bank of America. And a lot of these rules and regulations that Bank of America and a couple other banks have written for the potential digital currency for the United States, they're getting a lot of these ideas from China. You know, oh, we're going to do a universal basic income. We're going to give everyone money, but you have to spend all that money. You have to spend it. And if you decide you want to save your money, then guess what? We're going to just take it from you anyway. So you have to spend your money. That's called communism. It's a communist society. And what these banks don't understand, or maybe they do, maybe they know something I don't. But what these banks don't understand is they're not going to get much richer from this. They would actually get way richer in a capitalist society. But on the flip side to that is these banks will constantly have a steady stream of income, which is taxpayer income. It's going to be taxpayer income. Anytime the government gets involved with banks, it's or with the economy and banks, really, yeah. It's a disaster. You know, Gateway Pundit has some stuff on this. Fears rise that Silicon Valley Bank might only be the beginning of bank failures. And this is true. This is written by Jim Hoft, so you know it's fucking true. Or Joe Hoft, his brother. You know this is true. There's going to be a lot of banks that are going to probably fall from this. And, you know, if you're not FDIC insured or the bank's not FDIC insured, which honestly, I don't even know how much that's going to matter at this point. Who the fuck knows? Who knows what's going to happen from this? I mean, this is going to turn into a freaking disaster. The government should have no business in these banks. And honestly, like things like this right here, I wanted to bring this up here. General Motors bailout cost taxpayers $11.2 billion. This was in 2014. This is when this article was written. For everyone that has a General Motors vehicle, was your vehicle cheaper whenever you purchased it, post bailout? Did the General Motors, did they give you free oil changes for life? Did they give you any sort of discount on your maintenance? No, they didn't. This right here is called communism. For everyone that wants to disagree with me and say, oh, well, the U.S. economy is not a pseudo-communist society, loyal nine. Well, then you don't know anything about economics, because whenever the government is bailing out these companies and not allowing them to fall as they should because you ran a shitty company, guess what? That's called communism. Socialism, same fucking thing. The auto industry, whenever they went bankrupt, in this article here, this is from the Time Magazine, which is fucking rare they're even posting something like this. Let's see. The Center of Automotive Research said last year that the taxpayer bailout of GM saved 1.2 million jobs and avoided the loss of $129.2 billion in personal income in 2009 and 2010. Okay, let me throw this out there. Those 1.2 million jobs, I am fucking sorry that you would have lost your job if you were involved in this. But here's the thing. If these companies do not fail when you run a shitty company, that is called communism. I'm so sorry if you were one of those people. But the company needs to fail. It needs to fail. So then another company comes in there, buys it up, and unfucks it. That's how you fix shit. You fail, everyone that was in charge of it or that had anything to do with the failure gets fucking guillotined, metaphorically speaking, and new people come in and they unfuck it. That's how it works. These 1.2 million jobs would not have been lost, by the way, because somebody would have came in and purchased the companies. rebranded, and fixed it. That's how, I mean, you look at all these other companies that have gone bankrupt. Major companies, major corporations. Number one, government didn't bail them out. Number two, they always get purchased by someone else. Anyways, it says, of the $78.2 billion the U.S. Treasury spent bailing out the auto industry through its troubled asset relief program, $58 billion was repaid according to the report. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. Either way, they still spent $20 billion bailing out the auto industry. And did you get a discount when you purchased your next vehicle? No. Did you get some sort of free oil change package for life? No. They still treat you like shit and tell you everything is wrong with your car. And that's the end of it. Bong Donkey says, hi, Loyal. Hi, chat. Hey, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. So anyways, we're starting to see a shift. We are starting to see a shift in society, I think. There, as I've said before, there has been, again, I have lefty friends, and I think it's important to at least converse with people of the opposite political agenda or the political side of you. We should all learn how to get along, by the way. But it's also important to understand where they're coming from, because, there's a lot of lefty friends that I have that they're not malicious lefties. They're just like me and you. The problem is where are they getting their information? Who's doing the programming of them? And that's really what it comes down to. Who's doing that programming? You know what I mean? Like, there's one guy I know. He's a really nice guy. I love hanging out with him. He's a good dude to talk to. We just know to avoid politics. And then when it does come up, I listen and I don't cut him off and we speak. I say my side, he says his side, and then I'm just like, okay, is what it is. You know what I mean? But, he like, for example, I'll just give you a quick example on this guy. He's for the transgender shit, but he doesn't understand the weapon behind the transgender shit. He just thinks people are having a hard time being them, and he wants them to be happy. And that fits his personality. He's a nice guy. But that's how some of these people see it. They just don't, the problem is they don't see the weapon for what it is, or the movement for the transgender, the homo-fascism movement, global homo movement. They don't see that it's actually a weapon being used against them and their children. That's what they don't see. And it's fucking sad to see that. Real quick, let me ask you guys this. Can you please hit the like button? Because I have a quick story I'm going to tell you. Please hit the like button. Because there's an app I use. I'm going off on a quick little side note here, and just bear with me. There's an app I use called NewPipe, and NewPipe gives you a lot of the raw data behind YouTube. And there's an interesting thing that I noticed. I'll have to put it on screen next stream that I do. But NewPipe is showing me that I actually have almost 8,000 subscribers, but I don't. I have like 800 something. So it's kind of interesting. And NewPipe, the thing I love about NewPipe is it shows you the likes and dislikes of videos. And the other side to that too is it shows you the behind the scenes data. And what's really fucking interesting about that is that behind the scenes data, it's showing me that I have almost 8,000 subscribers. So what I think, and I'll have to show this to you guys next stream that I do. It's very interesting. I sent it to Helicopter Sean to show him, and I was like, hey, check this out, bro. And I think he agrees with me. What I think it is that's how many people have clicked subscribe to my channel. But every week I lose like 10 or 15 subscribers. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Every week I lose about 10 or 15 subscribers recently. Well, not every week. Probably, we'll say every month. Every month. That's being very generous, by the way. In the past like few months, ever since I stopped live streaming on YouTube, I've lost over 100 subscribers. Just boom, like that. And people are constantly hitting me up saying, hey man, just so you know, I got unsubscribed from you. And they show me the proof. So just tossing that one out there. Anyways, it's been really annoying. That's why I don't really stream on YouTube, by the way. But we're going to start streaming on YouTube just because. So the tide is shifting, though. the tide is shifting within society. As I was saying before, I have a lot of leftist friends that are now on our side for certain mystery potions that are coming out. There's only so many young, healthy 22-year-old athletes that can have a heart attack on the field before people start saying, what's going on here? And we're seeing it here. So if we pop over to Zero Hedge, love Zero Hedge, by the way. Tyler Durden, probably one of the best news websites out there, especially the comments section. Man, you get some freaking weaponized autism in the comments section there. But you'll see some guys here, or this article here. This is by Dr. Naomi Wolf. This is on her Substack, and it says, "Dear conservatives, I apologize." Well, she's apologizing for a lot of shit. She believed the lies about J6. Let's see here. Conservatives' reputations are being tarnished on false bases, and a lot of this is coming from the J6 stuff. Tucker Carlson, say whatever you want about Tucker Carlson, and I have some opinions on Tucker, but he's doing some savagery, straight savagery work there, showing the J6 footage. And then one thing that she writes in here, she says, "There is no way to unsee Officer Brian Sicknick, claimed by some Democrats in leadership and by most of the legacy media to have been killed by rioters at the Capitol that day. Alive in at least one section of the newly released video, the USCP, U.S. Capitol Police medical examiner, states that this officer died of natural causes, but also that he died in the line of duty. Whatever the truth of this confusing conclusion, and with all respect for and condolences to Officer Sicknick's family, the circumstances of his death do matter to the public, as without his death having been caused by the events of J6 to the breach of the Capitol, serious though it was, cannot be described as a deadly insurrection." And here's the thing that's really crazy about this. We have a ton of people, a ton of leftists right now that I know of before Tucker started doing this shit, and which, hats off to you, Tucker. Before Tucker started doing this, I know a couple guys that were like, "Oh, the most violent insurrection in history. Oh, the amount of armed people at the insurrection. Oh, the January 6th. It's giving every leftist talking point. And I am making these people eat their fucking foot at this point, because I show them stuff and I say, "Hey, what'd you think about that QAnon shaman, huh? What'd you think about that?" Just kind of being a dickhead to them. And it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. We like to have fun here. Let me know if you know where that's from. Anyways, if you guys could too, share the video, share the live stream, share my deep dives. That would be fucking awesome too, by the way. I hate to ask, by the way. I fucking hate to ask, but it is an uphill battle, man. It is an uphill battle, and I'm trying to really grow this thing. Anyways, here, Dr. Naomi Wolf continues and saying, "There is no way for anyone thoughtful, even if he or she is a lifelong Democrat, not to notice that Senator Chuck Schumer did not say to the world that the footage that Mr. Carlson aired was not real. Rather, he warned that it was shameful for Fox News to allow us to see it." This is the scary part. These people here, like Chuck Schumer and all these other leftist Democrats, like Eric Swallowswell, these people don't want this to be seen, because if this is seen by the world, everyone's going to know the truth. They're going to know the truth of J6, that it wasn't a violent insurrection. Now, you can continue reading the rest of the article. Go to zerohedge.com. You can check it out. It's very interesting because this is all pretty much about J6. I read most of it. It's a long fucking letter, by the way. Very long letter. But I didn't see anything about COVID. But honestly, dude, at this point, it's not over with yet, by the way. I know there's some people saying, "Oh, COVID's over with." I hear that with my friends all the time. COVID's over with. COVID's not over with yet. Oh, no. That's in reserve right now, by the way. COVID is totally in reserve. It's not going to anywhere. It's going nowhere. Right now, they just have that shit on standby, and we're just waiting for the next freaking Oompa Loompa to come out of their grave and start slinging COVID hate everywhere. It's coming. I hate to say it too. You know, I see some of these places dropping mask restrictions and mandates and all that, which is good, And a lot of people, that's what's driving them to say, oh, well, COVID's over with. No, dude. I'm pretty sure the military just reinforced the COVID mandate at this point. Just tossing that out there. It's bad, man. It's not going anywhere. Let's see. So I think Eric Swallowswell actually says something here about Fox News. Oh, it's muted.
Our troops, and I've been all over the world.
So this is actually coming from the Gateway Pundit here, and it says Democrat Rep. Eric Swallowswell suggests banning Fox News from troops overseas. I'll tell you why here in a second, but let's go ahead and listen to what Swallowswell has to say. Mr. Fang Fucker.
I think about our troops, and I've been all over the world and visited our troops in some of the harshest places, and nothing makes them feel more like home than their access, to American television programming. And a popular channel is Fox News. And again, I don't want to get in the business of telling troops what they can and cannot watch. But if you have a news station that a court is going to rule is in its evening hour, perpetuating dis and misinformation, I don't know if I disagree with both vets who is saying that we need to take a look at, how this is being broadcast to our troops. Well, again, I think.
So he just said, I'm not going to sit here and tell troops what they can and can't watch, but then he says, well, they're spreading mis and disinformation, so we need to go ahead and ban it. That's essentially what he's just saying, by the way. And the reason why he's saying that is because of shit like this. Dr. Naomi Wolf coming out saying, oh shit, Tucker Carlson just showed the truth behind J6. And they don't want people to know that, because who's going to enforce rule of law if Pasi Comitatus gets suspended? The military. The military will be the one enforcing that stuff, and they don't want the military to be on the side of the people. They want the military to be an arm and action piece for corruption. That's what they want. That's why they made the shot mandate for the military, because it's going to kick all the people out that are going to be the people that have the balls to say something if an illegal order is given to them. Because if you get some lieutenant colonel or some general or whatever out there, and they get a legal order from the military, and they say, oh, no, boss, I can't do that. That's against the Constitution. They're also going to be the same kind of people that are going to refuse a fucking mystery potion that has been proven to do more damage than good. So they want to get the critical thinker out of the military. They want the robot in the military. They don't want someone who's going to be like, I can't do that. We're not doing that. We're not going to shoot on American citizens. We're not going to break the law. It's not, they want a weak military, but they want a military just strong enough to enforce the will upon the people, or enforce the government upon the people. That's what they want. Just barely strong enough. Because every action that they have done since really Bill Clinton has been to weaken the military. Bill Clinton got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Or he mandated, or he enforced Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Used to be no gays allowed in the military. Then Don't Ask, Don't Tell happened. Then Obama happened. Oh, now you could be openly gay. Oh, okay. Then towards the end of Obama's time, trannies, you can now fucking go have sex with a blender and get on all sorts of hormones. And now you can be in the military. Trump got rid of it. Oh, well, Biden's in there. Now you can have sex with a blender and be in the military and be in charge of everyone. Okay. It's just going to weaken the military. That's why male rape in the military is actually skyrocketed. I don't know if you guys know that. Male rape in the military, male on male, skyrocketed. I think, and they're only saying, last report I looked at, this was like probably a year ago, last report that I saw, male on male rape report statistic, or report, what is the term I'm looking for? The amount of times they've reported it, they think it's only about 10%. is reported when male-on-male rape happens. And then the 10% that they believe is reported is an astronomical number. Astronomical. So everything that's everything that's happening in the military right now that's being mandated by the government is only weakening the military. I mean, they sent all, like, I think the Marine Corps doesn't even have any tanks anymore. And then a lot of gear for the military is being sent over to Ukraine. So the military is not even equipped properly. Our military, because Ukrainia has to be equipped. Ah, okay. Got it. So anyways, and that's essentially what's happening right now. Alien testosterone. What's going on, brother? I haven't seen you in a hot minute, but you probably haven't seen me either. So I don't know if you guys know this too. Again, I do a lot of work for Dauntless Dialogue. The new documentary that I came out with Dauntless Dialogue is called Luciferian Shadow, Conjuring the Communist, Volume 1. Here's the trailer for it. Enjoy.
Described him as a sort of a demon, as sort of a devil.
Spirituality is at the center of Black Lives Matter.
What did you guys think of that? The full length one is on Dauntless Dialogue right now. It's just been released. I think it was released 2 days ago, around there. So go ahead and hop over to dauntlessdialogue.com. Check that shit out if you want to watch the full thing. I have a bunch of other documentaries over on Dauntless Dialogue, actually. You can actually go to Creators at the top. Go to Loyal 9. And you can actually see these are the new documentaries that I have listed on Dauntless Dialogue. So if you want to watch the full things, go check them out. Highly, highly recommend. Not even just for my shit, by the way. There's guys over here on Dauntless that are way fucking better than me. Way better. So go check them out. I think Mouthy Buddha... Oh, man, it's tough between Mouthy Buddha and... Adam Riva. Adam Riva is the owner. But, dude, these guys, man, everyone on here is just a fucking straight-up bossa nova. So, highly recommend you guys go check that out. Anyways, you guys can hit me up anytime you want over on Gab, on maybe Discord. I might check that. I really don't check my Discord that much, but you can hit me up on Gab. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I do ask. I'm going to ask you guys one favor. Please share the show. Please share the documentaries. Please share the deep dives that I have public on YouTube. Let people know that I'm over on Dauntless Dialogue, and they can watch even better editing, even better information. These are way longer videos, guys. This McCarthy video here is 40 minutes long. This James Forrestal one's like 30-something minutes long. The Patton one, 36 minutes long. The Frankfurt School, like 30-something minutes. Highly suggest that shit. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concern, hit me up. Please share the show though. It's the only way we're gonna beat the algorithm, because we can't beat the algorithm. I haven't showed you guys yet, but I'll show you next stream, where the raw data is saying I have about 8,000 subscribers, but I don't. I only have like 800. And I've been doing this for like, what is it, 3 years now? So, I don't know. It's very interesting how this whole thing works. It's kind of fucked up. I've actually done some tests where I've created a fake YouTube channel with another phone number, another account, and it's gotten more subs much faster. And it was just like BS content. So there's clearly shadow banning happening. I don't know if you guys know, Jocko Willink Jocko fucking Willink was being shadow banned by YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, all these other social media platforms. They're shadow banning Jocko. So if you have anything to go against the narrative, they're going to fucking crush you, and they're going to do everything they can to crush you. I mean, how many conservative creators have you known that have been just absolutely destroyed by YouTube? So really, the only way we're going to circumvent this is by sharing the show and having a great time doing it. So again, appreciate you guys coming to the show. I know I don't have a stream schedule set up. I will at some point. It's probably not going to be any time in the future, but I appreciate you guys hopping on last minute and enjoying the time with me. So hope you guys have a great weekend. Loyal 9 out.
I just gotta make a reservation.